What's going on, you guys? We're back for another Legacy GT video. This build just keeps rolling and I am stoked because today we are installing all new Whiteline bushings in every single control arm on the car. And to make it better, we're upgrading every single control arm either to a spec B aluminum option or the Whiteline option. So all the old stuff is gone. Now, if you missed this in a previous video, not only did we get all spec B aluminum control arms, I had every single one of these arms vapor honed, so they look brand new. Let's just take a moment to appreciate these. And if the arms aren't exciting enough, we've got all new Whiteline bushings, polyurethane bushings for every single arm you see here. And for the subframe, we got the Energy Suspension bushings because Whiteline doesn't make anything for the subframe. So every single bushing on this car is gonna get changed out. So I think what I'm gonna do is get all of the parts laid out and put the appropriate bushings next to it, and we'll just start working arm by arm to get everything removed and the new stuff put in. All right, so I've got all of the arms laid out with the bushings where they go. So I'm just gonna start working one by one from the front to the rear, getting these bushings installed in the front. We gotta remove the ones in the rear still, and then put the new ones in there. And then we'll move on to the dreaded subframe. That's gonna be a bitch. And a huge shout out to Brian at Polished Image Detailing. His shop got me all the powder coating done for the brakes and the sway bars, but he hooked it up with this bushing press kit, so this is gonna make this job a lot easier. And we officially have the first arm fitted with the Whiteline bushings. So these ones are pretty easy to push in by themselves. I pushed them in a little bit more with this guy here. And then the easiest thing to do with this one was just get it on the hydraulic press, which I have in the back of the shop. I need to move some stuff around so I can show you guys what that process looks like on camera, because the back of the shop is a bit of a cluster. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the last few parts on. So you put one of those on each side. There's little indentations up here that allow you to turn this. And as you can see, that is off center. So it gives you caster adjustment when you're doing alignment on the car. Okay, so I have to give a major shout out to Griot's Motors because I got stuck on these bushings last night. After we knocked out the bigger ones back here, these ones were a total pain in the ass because they're perpendicular to the rest of the arm. It was impossible to get it in my press, and nothing that I had here was working to get them out. I took them into Griot's Motors this morning, which is just next door to Griot's garage. They do a lot of like restoration stuff, and Forrest saved the day. I'm pretty sure I just made a really stupid mistake. It's gonna cost me a couple $100. Let me show you. Okay, so I don't know how visible it is on camera, but I put the subframe up in the hydraulic press and was trying to press out this bushing and wasn't thinking, I thought there was enough support underneath it that we could press it out and it would break loose before anything tweaked in here, but it's got this all tweaked here. This spacing for the lower control arm is kind of off, and I can't put it in the press the other way to kind of push it back, and I'm worried about that stuff being straight because obviously if your diff isn't straight, if your control arm's tweaked, you're gonna have alignment issues. I think I may just buy a new subframe from Subaru because they're still available and they're not terribly expensive. That is obviously super unfortunate, but I share this with you guys to show that mistakes do happen when we try new things. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing is a stupid thing, but learn from my mistakes and don't do what I just did. So, I got our new subframe, and apparently people aren't buying legacy subframes very often because this thing has years of dust on it, so it's clearly been sitting in a warehouse somewhere. But here's the old subframe that I messed up. I did a little bit of testing to remove the bushings on this just to get some practice before we go after the new subframe because I do not want to mess up another subframe. Now, I tried cutting one of these out basically just by removing the rubber and going at it with a Sawzall. Now, unfortunately, I nicked the subframe a little bit, which is what I was worried about doing on the new one, so I'm glad I tested this. I know a lot of people cut the metal race out of here with a Sawzall, but in every video I've seen, you end up damaging the subframe. So that was not a super ideal situation. And I started working on these up here as well. So on this side, I burned all the rubber out of it and started cutting the metal race. But as you can see, it was a total bitch to get out and I didn't even get it fully out of here. Now you can see there's quite a bit of surface rust in here. So my assumption was that the new ones are gonna be a little bit easier to get out because they've never been on a car. Hopefully that is the case. But that brings me to what I've been working on for the last day of trying to get these bushings out of here. Now, most people would probably be stoked that their new subframe came with new bushings. Unfortunately, I have to press these out. So I was really hoping it didn't come with them. Nevertheless, we got to get these things out of here. Now, I picked up an assortment of tools over the weekend, a bunch of random stuff trying to figure out some way that I could either press or pull this bushing out of here. Now, the challenge with these particular subframe bushings is that they have this kind of metal lip down here that makes it impossible to put something below to support it while you press from the top. Now, what I think we're gonna end up doing is just taking the Sawzall and cutting this lip off, just parallel to the subframe here. And that way we can actually either put this on the hydraulic press or use this kit that I borrowed from Brian at Polished Image Detailing. Shout out Brian, thanks for letting me borrow this again. But we could use something like this and the proper size press to actually just press that bushing out of there, which is what we're gonna do on the diff bushings over there. What's going on, you guys? It has been a little over 2 weeks since I picked up the camera. Last time you saw me, I totally fucked up the subframe, but we've got a brand new subframe from Subaru, so we're ready to go, and I need to get the Energy polyurethane bushings pressed into that new subframe. But that's enough talking. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this. I'm gonna give it a quick wipe down to get rid of all the dust that's on it, and then we're gonna start with the easy bushings, which are the diff bushings there. We're probably just gonna try to press those out using that kit, and if that doesn't work, I have an idea of how to get it onto the hydraulic press. This job truly just continues to go from bad to worse. Everything that I have tried to get these bushings out has not worked, which is really not a great situation. Down here, I drilled out the rubber insert in there and I've been trying to get the metal race out. I've been trying to cut through it with the Sawzall without hitting the subframe, and this thing just doesn't want to come out. And then up here, I was able to cut off part of this washer that you see here, and as you can see, it's just an outer rim, but the challenge is that each of these bushings has a few spots where it's damn near impossible to get the Sawzall, or you'll hit the subframe like I did there, which fucking sucks. So we could cut this if this metal insert here was out of the way. So unfortunately, what I'm thinking is we're gonna have to end up burning these, which is what I didn't want to do all along. But if we do that, we can burn out everything in the center, and then we'd be able to cut this from the back and finally press out the metal race up on the hydraulic press. And then we'll have to figure out what to do with these ones, but I'm thinking we'll burn everything out of this as well. That heat may help just to press the race out in that. We have to drill this one out as well, burn all that out. I'm regretting this a little bit. We officially have the first metal race out. Holy shit, that was terrible. Literally took me a solid 2 hours working on this. So at our current pace, it's 8 o'clock right now, it's gonna be 2 in the morning when I get these other 3 out. So I need to pick up the pace. So basically the method that I found that worked best was drilling this out, getting the centerpiece out of here, then you cut off the metal washer on the bottom, and at that point you can burn everything that's in there out. That heat kind of helps separate them, and then you can press out the metal race using these guys here. Okay, we are back. I had to take a break last night because getting these 2 subframe bushings out and the diff bushings totally took it out of me. My phone took an L. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera there, but broke it at the top. The facial ID is broken. It was rough. This is terrible, all to get those out. So these ones are super challenging to get out. I think in the end, if you do what I did and drill them out, get the core out, then cut that ring off and burn all the stuff out between the heat and the press, you can get them out without actually having to go at it with the Sawzall. Unfortunately, I did nick this one over here. It's pretty hard not to if you're trying to cut those things out, so I'm gonna really try just to press these bottom 2 out. But those are the last ones we have to do. I'm gonna go ahead and get this done because I am so tired of this project. Okay, thank God we are finally down to the last subframe bushing. We've got the other 3 out officially. Goodbye, we won't miss you. So, I need to get this drilled out. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to doing this. But same process, gonna drill it out, get this core out, burn it. I would recommend cutting the washer off first before you burn it, because then you'll be straight ready to press it out while that's as hot as possible. And hopefully that heat helps release it a little bit easier. I cannot believe I'm actually saying this, but we are done. I just got the last bushing out of the subframe, so we just gotta do a quick cleanup, get some of the kind of the charring off of there. It cleans up real nice with that multi-purpose cleaner that we have. And I'm gonna do a quick scuff and spray paint on some of these areas that got scuffed up while I was dealing with the subframe bushings. There, and then on some of the pickup points. So just make it look a little bit cleaner, since it's got a few battle scars from removing those bushings. It is finally time to put the subframe bushings in. The spots that I painted look good as new. Can hardly tell that anything happened there. So we've got our Energy subframe bushings over here and our Whiteline diff bushings over here. These guys are the ones that we need to press in here. Hopefully those go in nice and easy. And then we've got these guys here that actually go on the diff brace over here. Now I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. In Japan, the Spec Bs, or some of them, come with a 5-speed. So there's an aluminum diff brace as well. I ordered one of those. It unfortunately didn't get here in time. So we're gonna press out the bushings that are in here to pop the polyurethane bushings in the meantime. And because they're a 2-part bushing, they'll be easy to swap over into our new aluminum one when it gets here. I am seriously starting to think I'm cursed or something, because I've hit roadblocks with this build every step of the way, every single step of the way. I just went to install the subframe bushings and they sent me 7 of the correct bushings and 1 of the wrong ones. Let me show you. Here we go. Here is the correct size one, which I have 7 of, and the incorrect size one, which you can see clearly isn't gonna work. I'm just at a loss for words. So what I think I'm gonna do is put 4 bushings all in the top, and then we'll just leave 1 out of the bottom, and I'm gonna have to try to put everything together in the car without that bushing, because if there's any chance of getting this build done in time for the rally, this is the only way it's gonna happen. And no one that can help me is open until Monday, and today's Saturday. So we gotta keep moving and use the time that we got. We are finally done. Got all of the subframe bushings in, with the exception of the one bottom piece that we're missing over here. So I'm hoping we can just press that in from the bottom once the subframe's in the car, because I need to keep moving forward and getting this in the car. Got the diff bushings in this brace here. Like I said, once we get the aluminum one, we'll put those bushings into the aluminum one. But this job is finally done. Okay, we are in serious crunch time. Today is Saturday. Express Rally starts next Friday, so we have less than a week. My alignment for all of this is on Wednesday, and we have the kickoff party on Thursday. So I have a few more hours today on Saturday to work, all of Sunday, and then after work Monday and Tuesday to get this done. So let's cross your fingers, boys, that you're seeing this car on Express Rally in a week here. I'm fingers crossed. But if you're loving these Legacy GT videos, I've put 2 more up on the screen here to check them out. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.